In the Berlin Victory Parade 1945, the Soviets revealed the IS-3 heavy tank. This vehicle with a 122mm gun, thick armor, and a pike-nosed design worried the West. Almost immediately the Allied nations would create their own heavy tanks. These tanks would be one of the last heavy tanks to be ever built. In this video we will understand why heavy tanks become obsolete and the history behind last of heavy tanks. The Americans would develop the M103, the British would create the FV214 Conqueror, and the French would build the amx50. All of these tanks would be equipped with a 120mm gun, strong armor, and decent mobility. By the end of World War II, Americans have been working on their own series of heavy tanks. These were known as T-29, T-30 and T-34. These were originally meant to counter the Tiger and Jagdtiger, but the war had ended before they could be completed. But if they could be lighter and mount the 120mm gun, it would have been a reliable heavy tank. The M103 is a shortened T-34 with an elliptical hull and a lighter T-123 120mm gun. The M103 would be equipped with the AV 1790 diesel engine, giving it a top speed of 21 miles per hour. The hull was covered with 4.5 inches of armor angled at 60 degrees, the mantlet was around 350mm and turret sides from 80mm to 140mm. The gun could penetrate around 320mm with solid shot, 380mm with heat. The M103 saw service with the Army and Marine Corps. It served till 1974 in the Marines. Before the reveal of the IS-3, the British had made the Centurion, but the Centurion only had a 17-pounder gun. Later it was equipped with a 20-pounder, but it still wasn't enough. So new tank was produced, FV214 Conqueror. It was equipped with an L1 120mm gun which had a stabilizer. The rounds it fired had penetration of 450 mm. It had a Rolls-Royce Meteor M120 engine which gave it a top speed of 22 miles per hour. The front plate was 120mm armor angled at 62 degrees and lower front plate was 77mm angled at 45 degrees. The turret had between 340 to 240mm of armor. It had an independently operated commander cupola. The Conqueror was to be deployed alongside with Centurions. The French already had been working on a tank with an auto-loaded 90mm gun. But when the IS-3 was revealed, they equipped it with an 120mm gun and was redesignated to amx50 TO120. There was actually two versions of the amx50 TO120. The amx50 Surbase and the amx50 Surblind. Both had a 120mm gun with a 6-second autoloader. The Surblind had better armor and a 20mm autocannon. For simplicity, I will be focusing on the amx50 Surblind. The gun have penetration of 300mm. The Surblind comes with a 1000 horsepower HL295 which gave it a top speed of 31 miles per hour. It didn't have much as armor as the Conqueror or M103. The oscillating turrets and hull have 100mm of armor. All of these heavy tanks were powerful, but they are considered obsolete. Because at the time a new class of tanks emerged. The main battle tanks. These have same protection and armaments of a heavy tank, but they are lighter and faster. Simply put, the heavy were too heavy, most of them around 70 tons. The Chieftain main battle tank have a 120mm gun and same protection but was faster. The amx50 and m60 have a 105mm gun but with even better mobility. It was soon realized that MBT were the priority as they could do the same tank but better. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Red Wrench Films for making this video possible.